I've got the 3 new Spring 2018 Pat McGrath 6-pan eyeshadow palettes to share with you guys today. I did purchase all 3 of them off of the Sephora website for $55. They're also available on the Pat McGrath website. And I did do a demo with the Bronze Ambition eyeshadow palette, which is the look that's on my eyes right now, and that'll be towards the end of the video if you want to see how those shadows worked for me. I did use all 3 of these palettes, and I have used every shade in each one of these palettes. I was wearing the Vie En Rose eyeshadow palette in my last haul video if you guys want to see kind of what that looks like. I was super happy to see that she came out with a little bit more affordable option in her palette, since her other ones are have such a high price tag on them, so that everybody could kind of try out her formula. And I was also really excited about the fact that she used her awesome artwork that she had on the external packaging of her larger palettes and used them on the actual packaging of these palettes. I think that her packaging, both the larger palettes and these newer ones, are some of the most unique that I have seen in a while, and I really appreciate the artwork that are on the outside. With that being said, when my package came, it was kind of cold outside, so this could be part of the reason why, but the Bronze Ambition eyeshadow palette, the little flap here, the glue, like it gave out. I'm just going to take some super glue and glue it back on there. Otherwise, there is a magnetic closure on there, and then it comes with this little band, and you like twist it and it'll hold it shut like that. I was happy to see that the name is printed on the palette though. These don't come with an external box. So while the packaging is super duper cool, and I do feel like it's a pretty substantial heavy duty cardboard, it's not quite as luxe feeling as those larger palettes, but again, I do appreciate this artwork on these little guys. For the amount of product that you're getting, each pan is 0.07 ounces per shade, which is the same amount of product that you're getting in her larger eyeshadow palettes, her 10 pans. I will zoom up close and give you guys some swatches. I really like the Pat McGrath eyeshadow formula. In these 3 palettes, there are no glitter shades that are in her, like in her larger palettes, which some people really like them, some people hate them. I think that the formula on her glitter shades is really unique, and it offers a really like unique effect to other eyeshadows, and for that reason I really like them. They work best with like a tackier base, however, but they're really, really pretty and really unique. None of that formula are in these 3 palettes right here. The metallic shades are the closest in terms of formula to the newest eyeshadow palette that she came out with, which is this one right here, which is called the Decadence eyeshadow palette. So the metallic formula in here is very similar to the metallic formula in the 6-pan shadow palettes that I'm about to show you. And since I have all of the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, I did cross-reference between the larger palettes and these smaller ones to see if there were any repeat shades between them. And there aren't any shades in these newer 6-pan palettes that are included in any of her 10-pan eyeshadow palettes. The 3 original 10 pans that she came out with, there were repeat shades. There was actually the same black shade was in every single one of her original 3. And then there was, I think, 2 other duplicate shades amongst the originals. The Decadence palette too, there aren't any repeat shades from the Decadence that's in any of her first 10 pans or either these 6 pans. The cool pattern on the packaging goes all the way throughout the palette, so it's like on the inside of the flap and then it goes around the mirror. These do come with a little plastic sheet over the top of the shadows. Again, I'm not nuts about the plastic sheets. I'd rather have the names like inside the palette. One of the things that I think I did it with 2 of the palettes is this here plastic piece when I was trying to get it out ended up stabbing some of the eyeshadows. I've tried to jam the plastic underneath the ledge of this outside mirror right here just to keep the plastic in there because the names are on that little sheet and not on the inside. Each time that I used the eyeshadow palettes, I found that the eyeshadows went on very saturated. The pigmentation is really good and they blend out really nice. When I'd swatched the shades, I did notice that the textures of some of them were a little bit more dusty and like some of them were a little bit more dry, but then when I went to use them on my eyes, I didn't feel like that affected the performance of the eyeshadow. I feel like they went on really, really nice. So the pigmentation is there, the blendability is there, and then the fallout was very, very minimal, which are 3 of the key factors for me, I guess, when I used eyeshadow. One thing I will say though is each time that I went to use one of the eyeshadow palettes, I was searching for another shade that wasn't included in the palette, which typically was a matte brow bone shade or like a matte transition shade. So in today's look, which I usually don't like to do that, I like to stick to just the palette and do the look out of it. But because there was so much shimmer and those shimmers are, the metallics are really intense, I did bring in Wet n Wild's Brulee eyeshadow for underneath the brow today, and I faded up a deeper matte into it and it was able to blend together pretty decent. I think it looks pretty good. And then in my last haul video when I used Vie En Rose, I did bring in some some V-Sart mattes for underneath the brow and in the kind of crease area. Again, the colors are really intense and very metallic, and so to make it more wearable looking while still being able to wear a hot pink eyeshadow, I brought in a little bit more toned down shades. They seem to pair well and work really nicely with the other shadows that I used in the looks. So for me, they're not standalone eyeshadow palettes. If you want to do editorial looks or just something really bright and shimmery or something like that, you can create a look with just these palettes. But like I said, I like to bring in a little something to tone it down. So with that being said, let me go ahead and zoom up close and give you guys some swatches, and hopefully you can see whether or not they'll be something that you will like. So we'll go ahead and start off with Bronze Ambition. Here is the front of the palette, and then here is the back listed with the shades and the ingredients that are inside. And then I'm going to just go ahead and pull this top off because this is the one that I need to re-glue the top back on. And then you open her up and here are your eyeshadows. Again, I shoved the little plastic piece in the mirror right there because I do want to hang on to it. This one has one matte eyeshadow, which is this brown shade right here. Let me go ahead and read the shades to you real quick. You've got Guilt Trip, Bronze Struck, Copperized, Illicit, Throwing Shade, and Gold Peach. So let's give you some swatches. That little bone in my hand always like pops the shade up right there. So those are the first three. And then these bottom three. This shade does have some really fine micro glitters in it. And it's not quite as metallic as these four right here, but it does have a shimmer factor to it. This brown, deep brown. Really pretty colors. It just really like screams summer vibes, man. So that one is Bronze Ambition, and then this next one is Subliminal Platinum Bronze, and then here is the back. You flip her open. I'm really happy at the fact that they incorporated such cool artwork on this packaging. And then here are your shades. Let's flip it upside down here. So in this palette, there is one matte in here as well, which is this deep brown shade in the corner. The shades in here, you've got Platinize, Smoke and Mirrors, Telepathic Taupe, Deep Velvet, Ritualistic, and Sextrovert is in the corner. Let's go ahead and give you some swatches. And then these bottom three. Oh my gosh, my cat though. Sorry. So that one is Subliminal Platinum Bronze. And then the last one is Vie En Rose. Right there. Flip her open. It's such cool packaging, right? And then here are your shades. In this one you also have one matte eyeshadow, and that is this purple in the corner. You'll see when I swatch it, but this gold shade is like wicked intense. So the shades in here are Pale Fire, Purple Rain, Gold Nectar, Paranormal, Rose Risque, and Euphoria. Give you some swatches. Again, if you want to see this on, I did wear this in my last haul video. That purple is so rich. That dark that bone in my hand always like, it's like a little bump in the road. Anyway, so there's the top three eyeshadows. Look at that. Look at the purple. Look at that gold. Oh my god. This one here kind of has a duochrome to it. It's got a little bit of a pink reflect to it. And then the bottom three shades. These two shades right here do feel a little bit drier and a little bit more crumbly, like this pink. But again, it went on really nice for me. It doesn't swatch worth a darn either. So there is Vie En Rose. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. And now if you're interested in seeing the Bronze Ambition palette and how it went on for me and the look that's on my eyes, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. I'm going to take a Esom T43 brush and use the Lily Lolo eyeshadow primer duo. I'm just going to go back and forth between the two shades. One's kind of a cooler undertone, one's kind of yellow. I'm going to prime from the lash line to up underneath the brow. Then using the Sonia G Builder 2 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Copperized, which is up in the corner. I'm going to pack that guy on the center of the lid. I'm going to bring it above the crease as well. Using that same brush, I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to go into the shade Guilt Trip, which is up here, and I'm going to put that in front of the Copperized shade. And then blend them together. Then on a Dakota GSN 9 brush, I'm going to go into the shade The Throwing Shade, which is the only matte in the bunch. It's this guy right there. And I'll put that guy in the crease and on the outer portion of the eye there. I typically don't like to bring in another shadow, but there's quite a bit of shimmer on the lid. So I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Brulee eyeshadow, which is just a matte brow bone, and I'm going to put that underneath the brow and wherever there is an open space for with no shadow on it, kind of to set the rest of that primer. I just checked her other palettes because I couldn't remember, and there isn't a matte brow bone shade, at least for my skin tone, in any of her palettes. So I'm just going to use this guy. Then I'm going to go back into that Throwing Shade matte on a Sonia G. This is the Worker 2 brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that, and I'm going to blend it up into that Wet n Wild Brulee. And try to fade it. Kind of to create a transition color, I guess. That's working out pretty good. I'm going to take that GSN 9 again and go into the shade Illicit, which is a deep brown with some sparkles in it, and just put that a little bit through here. Deepen it up even more. And then go back in with that Sonia G and blend it. And there is the shadow done. I got up close to the mirror and I have just the slightest amount of fallout. Hardly any though. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. For lips, I've got Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat, and this is in the shade Iconic Nude. I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with this guy. And then to fill them in, I've got one of ColourPop's new lipsticks, and this is in the shade Appy. I'm going to really like blend right into that lip liner. So there is the overall finished look using the Bronze Ambition eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.